What's up, man? This is a recording from the MenProvement Podcast. To see all podcasts, go to MenProvement.com, the number one self-improvement resource strictly for men. And while you're there, get a copy of your free ebook, How to Triple Your Testosterone Naturally. See the links below for more information and enjoy.
Ready to take your life to the next level? Then you're in the right place. Get all the information you need to be better, improve everything, and live life like a pro. This is the MenProvement Podcast with Sean Russell.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the MenProvement Podcast. I'm so grateful to have you guys here. I have an amazing episode for you today. This is by far one of my favorite episodes of this podcast in all 35 episodes we have so far. It's absolutely incredible, and it pretty much defines the man that we're trying to build here at MenProvement. A man who is masculine but not afraid to be vulnerable, and is just extremely attractive to women and can go out there in the world and absolutely crush it. And our guest today is Allana Pratt. She is a dating coach, she's a relationship coach, she's an intimacy coach, and she is just an amazing woman, and I'm excited for you guys to listen to today's show. Before we jump into it, I just want to say that the MenProvement Academy, it closes for $50 registration tomorrow, and you have 24 hours to get into this academy for one-time $50 fee. You'll never pay a dime to us again. And I just want to explain really quickly that after doing today's show with Allana, there's a few times during the show, and you're going to hear it, where I realized that everything we've is helping men become the kind of man that Allana is talking about in today's episode. And it really just dawned upon me that we've created something incredible. I got the 3 best coaches in the world for their specific fields to come on and do 3 separate programs with me. One, to build authentic confidence. I got Daniel Monroe to build authentic confidence, so you can become the most confident man you could possibly imagine from the inside out, and so you're unshakable in any situation. It's truly, truly amazing. And then I got John Cooper to come on and talk about how to be an authentic man and how to go out into the world and attract women naturally without being needy and without having to resort to pick up nonsense. And then I got JD Dallas to come on, one of the most alpha male dudes I've ever met in my life, to come on and talk about dating mechanics, what to do on the first date, what to do when you get her phone number, what to text her, and everything in between. And this program alone will teach you a step-by-step process to getting a fuck buddy for every single day of the week. It's absolutely incredible. And it dawned upon me that all 3 of these programs combined are truly creating the type of guy that Allana talks about in today's show. If you take every one of these programs in the next month, you will be head and shoulders above any other guy that you run into, and you'll be this guy that we're talking about in today's show. And I just thought it was amazing, and it dawned upon me while recording the episode, so I thought I should mention it here. And you have an incredible chance to get these programs and get 2 other programs, and to get any program that we ever come out with ever for just $50. And I would love to give them out for free. Trust me, I would. But every dime goes back to building the MenProvement Academy to an even higher standard. And it's going to be the best program for men in existence. We're going to have so many programs on sex, on making money, on fitness, on health, on being the happiest, most incredible version of yourself, and just being the kind of guy that everyone wants to be around and that you want to be. So I really encourage you to check it out at menprovementacademy.com. Registration closes in 24 hours, and then the price will quadruple, and it will go up every month from that point. In a couple of years, this academy will be full of programs, will be full of courses, will be full of success stories. We'll have forums and all sorts of stuff, and a one-time fee will cost upwards of $2,000, or it will be a monthly fee. And you have a chance to get in for a one-time fee of $50. It's an incredible opportunity. I'm basically giving this away, and I'm glad, because I want as many people to be a part of it as possible. But 1 hour of coaching with any one of the coaches in one of our programs is over $200, and you get 8 hours of lessons and coaching from multiple coaches for only $50. It's absolutely incredible. So check it out at menprovementacademy.com. And the last thing that's worth mentioning that's really cool is that everyone who signs up to the MenProvement Academy automatically gets sent an affiliate referral link. So every person you refer to the MenProvement Academy using your link, you'll get half of their membership costs sent to you. And there's no limit to how much money you can earn. So you could literally sign up in the next 24 hours for $50, wait until the price goes up to $200 after this discount ends, and then refer one friend, and you would have made $100. You would have been paid by us, essentially, $50 to be in the academy. And then if you have a bunch of friends, you can make a lot of money. And if you wait a year when the price is close to $1,000, you could make $500 for every person you refer. If you have a website, you could be making thousands of dollars a year. It's just another cool thing that we're doing that's worth mentioning to try to grow this into the biggest program we possibly can. And most of all, enjoy this episode because, like I said, it is absolutely incredible. It's one of my favorite episodes, and it's how to be an attractive man, how to be more intimate, and how to increase your effectiveness and the power of your relationships with any woman you meet with the amazing and incredible and beautiful Allana Pratt. What's up, guys? I'm here today with Allana Pratt. She's an intimacy coach and a relationship coach, and I'm excited to talk to her. So what's up, Allana? How are you?
I like your accent. You're from back east. Like, what's up? Like, there's a way that you sort of, I don't know, where in New York are you from?
I'm
like
from
the city?
I'm from the suburbs, yeah. And speaking on that, I'm gonna say Allana pretty much every time. I'm trying to keep it in my head to say Allana, but it's just gonna come out Allana. I know that's how you pronounce your name.
Come on.
Yeah, I'll try
Are you
my
from
best.
The island?
No, I'm from 45 minutes outside of New York City, kind of more upstate-ish. But yeah, I definitely have that twang. Yeah, where are you from?
Awesome. It's very sexy. I went to Columbia University, so it's bringing back good memories.
Okay.
I'm from Canada.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I was right down the road at Manhattan College, actually. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we're neighbors. Yeah, so I'm excited to talk to you today because I love what you do. I actually recently heard about you on the Mindset by Design podcast, and I knew that you would be perfect for our show because we have so many guys out there, and like myself, who I believe really don't know what true intimacy is, and I'm excited to dive into all the juicy details. But first, let's just talk about who you are, what do you do, introduce yourself to everyone who hasn't heard of you.
Thank you so much. And thank you to Andy. What a great interview that was. He's amazing. So yeah, I'm a small town Canadian girl. And right now what I do is I help men who struggle trusting women after a breakup. Their heart has been emasculated. And what happens when a heart shuts down is that you cut off your wisdom, your intuition, your gut instincts. You also disconnect your pelvis. If you think about it energetically, you have to go past the heart to get down to your pelvis. And so men, they feel hesitant sexually. They don't want to come across too much, but they kind of lose that badass, sexy, dark energy. And basically it either makes men into nice guys. So I cure the nice guy, or men, they kind of come across sleazy. Like they only have the lines that they teach you in some of the less caliber seduction community stuff. And so men are operating from the chin up with these lines disconnected from their heart with all this sexual energy happening. And they come across like sleazes, and they don't attract quality relationships, nor are they capable of that deep, profound, exquisite, erotic intimacy that's capable when you have your heart healed and any of the shame from your sexuality that's gone, and you're out of your spinning head and you're just present. You're being like a noble, badass man present. So that's what I help with. How the hell did I start doing that? What was your question?
No, yeah. How did you get into this?
Yeah, well, not on purpose. So small town Canadian girl, my Uncle Phil, he drove this big 18-wheeler semi down to LA from Canada once a month. So I quit college. I moved to LA. I was going to be a dancer and a model. And I was talented enough, but I didn't have a visa. So I moved to Japan, and I lived there for 4 years as a model and as a dancer. And I backpacked all over, Asia. But what I did that I didn't tell anybody, Sean, for like 20 years is I was a topless dancer in Japan. And I didn't set out to be a topless dancer, but there was this show at the Four Seasons Hotel, and they were paying a ridiculous amount of money to dance for the lunch hour to these drunk Japanese guys. So I said, well, nobody will know. So what the hell? And what I learned as I was dancing is that on my side of the stage where I was dancing, all the men in the audience looked at me like kind of sleazy because I felt sleazy. I felt bad about myself. But the ladies from the Moulin Rouge and Crazy Horse on the other side of the stage, the men on their side of the stage, they were like sitting up, like they were bowing. They were like honoring them like they were a goddess. And I thought, what the hell's going on here? And what I learned is that a woman can actually transform a man's attention by the way she thinks of herself. And I learned that if I breathed in this judgment and I affirmed, yes, I am a sacred erotic goddess, and I exhale that energy out, the men would like sit up and start to honor me. And then what I learned, 20 years later as a coach, is that same energy that I have as a goddess can awaken like a king, a man who's been like a knight, striving and all the rest of it. Like I can literally awaken this king in him, because every man wants to die for his queen. But so few women are of worth and love him that much and believe in him that much and appreciate him that much. So in my coaching practice, not only do I heal men's emasculated hearts, once that's healed, I can awaken. It's like their calling, their legacy. There's something that you guys can challenge each other for, and I can't do that. That's like a guy thing. But there's something that I, as a conscious goddess, can awaken in a man that it's magic, and it makes you guys into the most sexy, irresistible men that attract quality women in your own life, so that you can have it all. Did that make sense?
No, it makes a lot of sense. So
totally.
That's an awesome story, and that's an incredible background you have. And like I said, I heard you on the Mindset by Design podcast, and I was fascinated by this king that you described, because I agree with you in the fact that most men are from the shoulders up, from the neck up.
Yeah.
And I was the same way when I set out to get better with women. It was just a year ago, to be honest, and I was trying to learn lines and all this stuff. I was trying to, learn what to say, but none of it really worked until I met guys like John Cooper and other people who teach to really connect to your heart and your energy. And it pretty much changed everything for me. But I think that it's difficult to kind of tell guys, hey, you need to connect to your heart. You need to connect to your pelvis and your energy, because a lot of guys, they're so disconnected from the thought that energy is even a thing,
Yeah. And I also think, and I'm grateful, I'd like to meet whoever this John Cooper is. It sounds like he's doing great work.
You would love him, yeah.
Yeah. What I find is that for a man to tell a man that he's scared, or that his heart feels hurt, or that somebody was unkind to him, for a man to tell a man that, he's like, come on, buck up, you wuss, right? It takes a special kind of man to hold that very tender, healing, caring space. And yet for a woman, a conscious woman, a kind woman, a woman who loves men, it's absolutely natural. So it's like I hold this divine feminine space. It's like you're a warrior and you've been out there on the battlefield and you've got your ass kicked and you come home, and it's like you, not really, but like it's like you lay your head against my breast. It's like against the warrior lays his head against the breast of the queen, and he gets healed. There's a tenderness and an understanding and an unconditional love and a non-judgment that a truly conscious woman can hold for a man, where he exhales all the way to the core. When a man in general is around another man, he might feel heard or understood, but he's not going to fully surrender, because he's got to be, he's got to keep it together. It's another guy who's got to succeed here. But with a woman who doesn't judge, there's a place in a man that can exhale all the way to the core, and thus heal all the way to the core, and thus come home. All the spinning ends. And there's there's this sense of peace and freedom that I provide for my clients that I really think it requires a woman to have. And then every little bit of striving ends, every little bit of proving ends, every little bit of trying to overcompensate or hold back, being hesitant or trying to show off or whatever those survival mechanisms make a guy do. It becomes really quite natural to just rest home in your heart. And that is the sexiest and most seductive way a man can be for a woman, because you are peace itself. You are freedom itself. You are home itself. You are safety itself. And for a woman, that's what she requires in order to surrender and splay wide open her body and her mind and her soul to you and be claimed that way. And that's the foundation of what true intimacy is. Because think about the word intimacy. Into me I see. And when you look in, if you're in resistance to a part of you, if you're ashamed about a part of you, if you're hiding a part of you, if you don't want her to find out about a part of you, then you're literally pushing her away on some level. And you're only going to attract a low quality, not present woman who probably will emasculate you at some point. However, if you're at rest all the way to the core, one, you have all the wisdom in the world, all the intuition, all the instinct in the world. So you as a man are, quote unquote, safe from being hurt because you have total discernment and connection with source. But to her, you're going to attract a high quality woman because she wants nothing more than to let go of her masculine energy. She wants to be in her feminine energy and be splayed wide open and connect with that true intimacy. Because intimacy requires courage and vulnerability. When you live from the chin up, you can be strong, you can have will, you can push, but that's not sexy, and doesn't make a woman feel safe because eventually you're going to push with your will and overpower her. However, in the heart, that's where courage lives. La cour in French, heart, that's what it means. You're living in your heart. You're safe in your heart. So can she be. And you guys can connect intimately without having to try to fix each other or fix yourself. And you can just be deeply vulnerable, connected. And when you're doing that, making love, it is the most exquisite moment. You're completely out of control while being completely present to her. It's hot.
No, it sounds incredible. And it's like this is one of my first ventures into this world. Like I said, I've read The Way of the Superior Man, which it goes into kind of this what you're talking about. And I think every man listening should definitely check that book out. It's all about reconnecting to the masculine energy. And so I would love to just let you take the reins and talk about how we can kind of disconnect from our shoulder up thinking and reconnect to our heart, reconnect to our pelvis, and become more intimate in not only our relationships with women that we're dating, but in the relationships we have with women that we're just meeting on the street if we're single.
Right. So I guess where I'll go first is let's start with where you are, where any of the listeners are. So you meet a woman that you're in relationship with, or you're meeting a woman on the street, and let's just all notice. And there's no right or wrong here. I want you to really I have done so much personal work on myself. I have a coach right now. I do like 3 hours a week with my coach. So I don't believe a coach should be a coach unless she or he is being coached, because I can't see my blind spots. I can see yours, but I can't see mine. And so I do the work too. And I've done so much work so that I can be present, so that I can be intimate with myself and source, and thus with you, and literally entrain you and take you there in my products, in my services, in my coaching, etc. So the first place to start is where you are. And if you judge where you are, you will stay stuck where you are. If you're like, Sean Russell, you are a jerk and an asshole and a loser because you're in your head, you're going to stay there for the rest of your life. However, if you can imagine being in front of a woman at the grocery store, at a bookstore, or in the bedroom, wherever it is, and you notice that, oh my God, I'm in my head. I'm trying to do it right. I don't want her to reject me. I want to make sure that I never get hurt again. Oh my God, what if I lose her? Like if that's where you are, what you want to be aware of is you're not present. You're in your head. You're spinning. You're not in your body, because when you're in your body, your mind is silent. When you're in your heart, there's not even really any emotions or thoughts, and yet it's so exquisitely eternal. There's this oneness. You're connected to all, so you're totally at choice. You're totally smart, but you're not like thinking strategy. Everything's quite quiet inside. So the first place to start is awareness of where you are. If you're totally in that quiet space, awesome. And if you're not, please, can we look upon that part of you that's not present and put down the 2x4 and stop hitting him over the head, because it's not helping. It's hurting him. That judgment of I call it like the little Sean, or like the little you. I take men on these very powerful guided meditation journeys in our sessions where we meet little you. Little you is scared. And little you is ashamed. And little you might have a lot of reasons to be angry. And little you might have a lot of reasons to hate women. Even though you love them, you hate them. 1 foot on the gas, 1 foot on the brake. We're not going anywhere. You got to start getting real with what's there, and also not judge what's there. We could use the word allowance. We could use the word acceptance. Just be with it. Don't disconnect and not feel and go up in your mind and be and analyze who you find in there. No, feel. Feel like maybe some sadness will come up. Maybe a tear will come to your eye. Maybe you'll grind your teeth and some anger will come up. Maybe you'll want to hide under the table. Shame will come up. Just breathe. I call this sitting in the fire, and it is fucking hard to do on your own. I can't do it on my own. That's why I have a coach, because it's very hard to be the banks of the river and the river at the same time, which is why it's so very efficient, effective, and I get such fast, quick results with my clients, because I hold space so that you can totally relax. And together, I hold your hand, and we go into the darkness. It is not fun to feel pain. It is just not. I'm sorry. And it is not fun to go sit in the darkness without wanting to go in and change them. Okay, I'm in the darkness. Here you are. You're totally afraid. Will you fucking change? No, that doesn't work. You go and you sit in the fire and you just be, and you practice unconditional love. Unconditional love means I love you as you are, even if you're scared. I love you as you are, even if you have no clue how to change this. I love you as you are, even if you're angry as all shit. And then you start to, this part of you goes, oh, really? You're not going to hit me again? Oh, really? You're not going to judge me again? I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical. So this isn't going to happen overnight, but it will happen quickly if you're sincere, consistent with going inside to meet this little guy. And you might want to apologize. You might want to say, you know what? You're right. You have every right to be skeptical of me. I have been judging you for decades. I'm sorry. I have no excuse except I was just trying to do what's best for us, trying to fix us, change us. I want to get the girl. I want to live happily ever after. And I'm sorry, I've been ineffective at this. And this kind of crazy, kooky lady Allana, she's telling us to sit here with you and not change you and just love you. So, okay, I'll take the coaching. Hi. And it's really just getting to know that part of you from kindness rather than judgment that will literally be like magic. It'll be like grace. It'll be like total transformation, not just change. A lot of programs out there just put sprinkles on top of the ice cream cone of shit. And you might look good and you might get a couple phone numbers, but you're not going to get date number 3 or 4, and you're certainly not going to get marriage if that's what you're looking for, or long-term relationship or profound erotic intimacy. You might just get, a couple phone numbers and that's it, and not really high-quality women. But when you do the work and you sit there, and you go all the way to the core, and you let it take as long as it's going to take. Think about it. Conditional love is, okay, you've got 3. I'm going to do 3 coaching sessions, and you better fucking be healed because we got to go get the girl. But unconditional love would say, okay, I love you no matter what, forever. Even if you never change, even if you're scared forever, I'm going to be with you. I'm going to have your back. Now that's profound. That's the depth of the level of transformation I provide when we're in these coaching sessions, because when that part of you really gets unconditionally loved, it will, by definition, heal. Unconditional love is what? Like the highest vibration we can be, right? Peace, joy, freedom, all of this is like the highest level of bliss. It's love. So you got to start being bold, courageous, consistent inwardly before you can have that outwardly in relationship. And over time, generally I do about 6 sessions. Sometimes if somebody's super, super wounded with a huge wall, I'll invite them to do an intensive with me. So they actually come into my space for a weekend. But generally the 6 sessions will do it. And we just go deeper and deeper and rest and feel and breathe. And this part of you will transform. And here's the beautiful thing. Everything you've always been seeking, like strength and courage and confidence and being sexy and being badass and all that stuff, all of those, the essence of that is already inside you. I don't have to give you shit. I sort of remove what's in the way of that emerging in you. So you have the sense of total accomplishment, total pride. I fucking went through the fire. I did this myself, and nobody can take it away from me. And when you have that, and then you meet somebody on the street, you don't need her for approval because you've already approved of that part of you with unconditional love. You don't need the outcome because you're at rest inside already. You don't need an outcome to have safety on the inside. You've already cultivated it through this relationship with yourself, through these coaching, healing sessions. And you're just like, whatever is appropriate is appropriate. You might make a joke. You might be kind of sexy. You might be kind of honoring. You'll just you'll have such a connection to your knowingness and your intuition, and you'll be able to feel into her because you won't need anything from her. You'll just have this expanded sense of awareness of how to be playful or noble or serious or whatever it is when you meet somebody. You know, they say there's these strategies. Well, notice when her face, changes a bit, and then say, wow, I just noticed your face changed a little bit. If you say that from analysis, you sound like a dork. You sound like you're a stalker, and you're like, oh, gross. He's like, ugh, like noticing my twitches? Fuck off, right? However, if you actually are present and you're coming from, you need nothing. You want nothing. You're just here, wide, deep, bold, soft, strong. You're just like everything that it is to be human in front of her. And you authentically notice something and you say it from your heart. You say it from your pelvis. You say it from this vast awareness that you are. It doesn't come across like a line. It comes across like you care. Oh, why? Because you do. You're not trying to get her number, get her in bed, get, because you're full already. You're not coming from empty. And then she just goes, oh, where have you been all my life? I feel so safe with you. I feel so seen with you because it's real and it's authentic and it has what it takes to not only get my website, get her to say yes, right? So you're not only going to get her to say yes, you're going to keep her. You're going to go deeper with her. You're going to have the most profound relationship ever. And she's going to feel so safe and amazing. All of her radiance, all of her lusciousness, all of this energy she's been holding on to, waiting to give to her noble, badass king. She's going to give it to you because you've not like you've earned it like you're good enough, but you've done the deep work and you've cultivated this space to receive the glory and the devotion that you deserve as a king.
That was amazing. And I literally think that was some of the best 10 minutes of advice that we've had on the podcast so far, to be honest. And it's beautiful to hear you talk about this because I literally, I mentioned John Cooper before. I literally just did a 8-episode product with him that's in the MenProvement Academy, which launched a few weeks ago on this exact topic on, losing that outcome, losing that need for women and fulfilling yourself from within and reconnecting to your heart and going out there and giving your energy and gifts to women unconditionally. And it's amazing how like the pickup artist community it came about out of necessity when men needed women, and it's completely flawed. Yeah, like you said, like here I'm with you. We try to teach men to be natural, outcome independent, and fulfilled first. And it works. It's not like it works so much better because you don't do it so it will work because then you are outcome dependent. Right. But you do it and you'll find it does work amazingly. You connect to the women you talk to. Yeah. And your sex life will never be the same. It's unbelievable. So everything you just said there was so refreshing for me to hear, and I'm just grateful that you said it.
Oh, thank you, Sean. One thing I just wanted to add to what you said, and then I'd love another question. This idea of giving. It's so the opposite of take. It's a great next step. And I'd like us all to consider that there's another step even after that. If we think of that beautiful yin yang symbol, right? It's not just yin, it's not just yang, it's yin yang, right? It's like two. It's communion. It's the dissolving of duality. It's oneness. And so yes, going from take to give, going from outcome dependent to outcome independent is awesome. Going from, empty to fulfill. These are all steps in the right direction, but consider the next step. Yes, you will be giving, but can you receive as well as a man? Can you surrender as well as a man? And by surrender, I don't mean give in or give up. I mean, can you receive back the love, the devotion, the appreciation that's coming at you? Because if you can only take, we're not going to get anywhere. If you can only give, we're not going to get anywhere. But can you literally be in the dance of life? Can you not just inhale or just exhale? Can you breathe? Can you inhale and exhale? Can you give and can you receive? And that is the exquisite erotic dance where sometimes you'll be dominant, sometimes she'll be dominant. There's no rules. There's no rules of giving or rules of taking. But like sometimes, I can't even believe I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you something, Sean, I've never told anybody. Nice. Normally that's my line on my radio show. People tell me things I've never told anybody, but you must be good, Sean. You're just shutting up and letting Allana run at the mouth, and here she goes. Anyways, there was a time when I had a boyfriend who, whenever I was going down on him, like giving him oral sex, I was kind of like, I don't know, like in my head, or am I doing it right? Or is he liking it, or whatever like that. And he said to me something totally crazy. He goes, I want to pay you for going down on me. And I'm not a prostitute. And like all of this like defense mechanism of thousands of years of getting our head chopped off and being burned at the stake. I've got the vote and fuck you and all that kind of stuff came up for me. And he's like, okay, let's breathe through that. Let's let that go. And then he's like, but don't you truly want to be valued? Don't you truly want to receive and feel full as you give? And wouldn't it just be amazing for you to be naughty and literally let me pay you and just face that dark shadow in you, that prostitute archetype, and transcend it? Transcend it into this oneness that I'm speaking of, Sean, where the yin and the yang just collapse upon one another, and we don't know where I end and you begin and I end, and we're just one with the universe. And so I was, I'm a coach, so I'm also coachable. And I'm like, okay. And so he gave me like some cash from his wallet, and I swore it was the craziest oral sex we've ever had. What it did was it collapsed all of my unconscious definitions of appropriateness, and now I give and now I receive, and let's play by the rules and let it have it all be, predictable and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying, guys, pay your women to give blowjobs. She'll probably punch you. But what I am saying from my vulnerable journey, guys, is that I too struggle with this giving and receiving. I too am a, human on this journey. I might be a master at what I can do to provide for you, and yet I'm also, humble and wobbly at times. So this idea, long story short, the idea of collapsing, like learning all that you're learning, do all the steps, do John's course, that sounds amazing, and be willing for there to be yet another step. Don't go into conclusion. See if you can actually continue your own soul's evolution in relationship by dissolving these dualities and not sticking to a strategy now of giving versus receiving, or a strategy of being outcome independent versus outcome dependent. Like, it's great growth. And what if we could totally dissolve all of our roles and just be, just if anything, just be love. Just be able to trust yourself in the unknown. Being present is one of the scariest places to be. On the one hand, you're home within yourself, full. You don't require anything from her. You're at peace in your body, you're breathing, the thoughts have quieted, you're in your heart. That's half of it. But the other half is you have no fucking clue what's going to happen next. You're totally in the unknown, the mystery, right? You're like, ah! So it takes a lot of courage to be present. And if you still have to remember, oh, am I supposed to give right now, or am I supposed to receive, or how's this go? It takes you back up into your mind again. So just to dissolve everything in this blissful surrender of the moment with your partner. And that could be your partner could be nature on a hike. Your partner could be, a client in a business meeting. Your partner could be a woman on a date. Your partner could be your beloved in the bed. It could be anything. Life is your partner. Life is always your partner. Every single inhale and exhale is a moment to be in partnership with life. So you can practice 24/7, letting this duality dissolve and just showing up. And that practice, I think, will take your dating, your lovemaking, and your relationships to a whole other dimension, while attracting a whole higher quality of partner to share the journey with.
I absolutely love it. And you're making thank you for sharing that story with us. That's awesome.
That's pretty vulnerable, Sean. I've never shared that with anybody before.
Yeah, absolutely. We're getting real vulnerable here, and you're making me feel incredible about the academy that I just created, which actually, I'm not even trying to pitch here. We talked about the John Cooper one, and now you're talking about presence. And I also did a confidence program with a confidence coach named Dan Monroe, and it was all from the false realities you create in your head.
Yeah.
Totally becoming present in any situation, losing your expectations in any situation, and detaching from your identity to go into every single situation in your life completely raw in the present state, because that is where you are truly your most confident self. You're not creating anxieties in your head or anything like this. So that, like, just talking about this, if you guys are listening to this right now and you're digging it, I just did 14 hours of audio with two incredible coaches on this stuff, and you can get in the MenProvement Academy in the next 24 hours if you're listening to this on the first day for only $50, and it's still going to be relatively cheap after that. And I'm not even trying to pitch, but it's just like everything you're saying, I'm like, wow, like this is awesome. Like the way the universe is bringing all this towards me. You know, I just created this stuff, and now I'm connecting with you to kind of piece it all together into one beautiful like mesh of information for people. And I love it. And obviously I certainly plan on connecting with you more and possibly getting coaching from you once I get back from my vacation. And we'll talk more about that later and where to find you, because I'm loving what we're doing right now. And presence has been a game changer in my life. And I guess what I want to ask you is if you have any like exercises that you tell guys to do on a daily basis to become more present, because one thing that's helped me is meditation, obviously.
Yeah, meditation's wonderful. And I'll tell you, so I'm much older than you, Sean. I'm 45. And I've done lots of different programs over my probably good 20 years of personal growth. And what I learned recently is that when I meditate, I literally leave my body. I go to my happy place. I calm my adrenals. You know, it's a good benefit for my body. But I'm not really practicing what's required to be in the fire, eyes open with my partner. I'm sort of leaving. And I started noticing that when I was making love, I would close my eyes because that's where I felt the safest. And so what would it take to actually be in the fire, keep my eyes open and stay present? And that's what I really believe is the gift of doing. And I'm not cheap. I'm fucking amazing, and I created amazing results, and I charge for it. So just so you know, I have lots of cheap products and things that are inexpensive, and you know, people can get a taste of it. But what I really provide for men is like in person or on Skype. No escape, guys. We're not like obviously having sex or anything. We're having a Skype call, but the idea of all of your triggers being pushed. And I'm going to ask you to stay present. I'm going to ask you to show up. I'm going to ask you to look me in the eye. I'm going to ask you to breathe. I'm going to ask you to feel through that pain that always takes you out. That one where you always leave and go up into your head. That one where you always push a woman away before she pushes you away. That one where you just don't know that you could survive a blow of being left or abandoned. Like that place where you always give your power away. I swear, I don't believe there's any place other than the present moment with another holding space and breathing with you, someone who you trust, someone who unconditionally loves you, someone who doesn't judge you, someone who's a master at what they do. So there's like zero risk. It takes a lot of courage, but like the risk of being hurt is gone. And you really go through those present moment practices with another. That's, I think, the next level up from like silent meditation, which I still think is awesome. But we're not all living in caves. We're on the field. We're in the street. We're in the bedroom, right? We're having these conversations. Whether like a woman will have, I call it weather, emotional weather. You never know what the storm will bring in today, or if it's a cool summer breeze. You just don't know with women. And a lot of men check out when a woman has emotional weather. Well, not that I certainly get angry at guys on my coaching calls, nothing like that. But like when you get scared and you check out, we can work through that in a coaching call so that when you're actually on the field with a woman and she's freaking out, she's maybe got her period that day and her emotions are going nutso, you don't go anywhere. And if you can be a man like that and not let yourself be emasculated, I'm not saying that. Actually learn how to train a woman to hit above the belt, not below. Like these are skills that I really... Yes, there are practices I can give you, but nothing compares to showing up in real life and going through it and going, oh my God, I'm transformed. I got through to the other side. That place where I always stopped, I showed up. That place where I always checked out, I stayed present. Oh my God, I have literally transformed the cells of my body, the neurons in my brain, hormone receptors are shifting. Like I'm different. It's the difference between putting sprinkles on an ice cream cone of shit and like actually cleaning it out to the core of your cells, your soul, your beliefs. Your neurons, all of that. So if I was to have a practice, I would say sign up for at least my membership, because it's a group call, not a one-on-one call, but start somewhere where you're actually on the field in the space of that discomfort and start to breathe through it. A practice you could do without doing that is just start to notice where you want to hide, want to divert your eyes. Notice where you're holding your breath. Notice where you try to be cool to divert something, and just see instead if you could take a beat and a pause and breathe and feel. Maybe you have to remove yourself and go to the bathroom or go to a different room or whatever you need to do, but start noticing where you check out And instead of checking out, be kind to yourself and breathe. And don't try to fix anything or breathe for the outcome or breathe to feel better or whatever. Just start getting comfortable being uncomfortable. Start being willing to see that life is, I mean, if you're really going to be present, you're out of control. You're out of control. And see if you can, over time, through this practice, hopefully some of you will want to get to know me more and maybe through sessions. But what you'll start to see by sitting in the fire over time, realizing, you know what, that was tough, that was scary, but I'm still here. Holy shit, I didn't die. My mind told me I was going to die, but I didn't die. What you'll start to realize is you can, how do I say this in a manly way? Well, fuck it, I'll just say it. So you can surrender your being over to the universe. Not give in, not give up, but say, okay, you win. Guide me. Show me the way. You're showing up fully. You're on your game fully. You're on the court fully. And yet you're not trying to do it all yourself and be in control all by yourself. You've given it over. I give. Show me the way. There is an exquisite place of, it's that duality again. It's the collapsing of the duality again. I'm in charge. I'm showing up. I'm making choices. Here I am. And I'm totally out of control. So I'm going to let go of control. I'm going to even let go of wanting control. I give. Show me the way. It's such an exquisite place to literally not just think about it, but literally feel in your body, in your balls, in your heart, the universe. To feel it on your inhale, not just inhale, but feel the exquisiteness of this presence that's animating you, that's fueling you, that's spinning our planet, that's illuminating the stars. It's the very same thing that you just inhaled. And so few of us create this space through the healing of our heart, the being present, the releasing shame of our sexuality, the sitting in the fire, that we can actually feel the exquisiteness, the peace, the freedom of this presence breathing us. And when you can do that, one, it feels fucking unstoppable to be alive, even though you're out of control. Second, you're sexier than hell. Just walking down the street, someone in that vibration, it's like you're a vortex. You're just going to pull along anybody that's slightly aware. And when you're around a woman in this space, I mean, no shit, you'll make her wet just like being in your presence. You really would.
That's amazing. It's amazing, and it's really relaxing listening to you talk here. I'm really.
Am I hypnotizing you, Sean, into my vortex?
This is amazing. You know, I loved everything you said there, and I guess if we're gonna move forward with some questions, a couple things that jumped out to me is I've had people who have contacted me, like Jay Palmerville, asking about how to improve our relationships for guys in relationships. And one thing you mentioned was like when guys get into a fight and when women go a little crazy as they do, like you said, we do. Most guys and a lot of guys, they'll get mad and they'll leave the room. But right. What would be kind of the best way? Because I know I've read in David Dita's Way of the Superior Man is to kind of just love her through it, like love her so much that she just submits to it. And that is the most attractive thing and most powerful thing. If you can be that man, versus the guy who gets pissed off and goes to the bar and drinks, and you're the superior man, as he calls it. And what would be something to do in situations and relationships when things are kind of going rocky and women are having their
David's right
crazy attitudes?
David is totally right in his coaching, but there's this big thing missing: the how.
Yeah.
That's very important. So you cannot strategically love a woman. Love is not a strategy. Love is not a thought. It's literally this energy I speak of pulsating through you, holding space. So if you cannot be totally safe in the unknown, in your body, with a little scared you, knowing that you have his back, with the little ashamed you, knowing that you've got his back, with the little angry, pissed off, frustrated one inside of you, knowing you have your back. If you haven't done your internal work, so everybody inside is calm, knowing that big you has their back, and that you actually feel safe in the unknown, there's no fucking hope in hell you're going to weather the storm. You're going to be toast. It's just science. There's no strategy here. The strategy is do your inner work so that come what may, you're okay. And then who you are is the embodiment of love. And you can listen and you can say, tell me more. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. Tell me more. and you can actually hold space. But if you try to strategically, okay, she's freaking out, tell me more, honey. She's just going to be like, and here's a machete and here's a, she's going to take you down. It's smart to run away because you can't handle it. So it is not, you will not handle it from a strategy. You will not handle it from just some coaching advice. It's an embodiment of safety within you, that you can be on a ship in the sea with a huge storm, or you can be in front of a woman losing it, or you can even just be looking at your bank account and it's not what you wanted it to be, or you get the call that you lost your job, or your parents just died. Like, those are the moments that cultivate, can you be present? I remember when my mom died, there she is, dead, right in front of me. And like, what am I going to do? Am I going to close my heart down? Yes, you can take her organs. Yes, we'll be out by noon, or am I going to keep my heart fucking open all the way and feel the pain all the way to the core, which is another word for love. If you keep feeling pain all the way to the core, you will feel bliss and just be there. It's like you've got to be a man and live and go through these challenges and keep your heart open to be able to be there when your woman freaks the fuck out. Yes, there's some quick tips we could give you, but most of all, it's do your inner work inside. And as my mom was dying, I was doing my inner work inside. I was the only one in my family talking to my coach over those last 10 days before she left, because I didn't want to miss a minute of it. And we miss life all the time when we're not present. And in order to be present, as I've said earlier, requires more courage than maybe you think you have, but I promise you it's in there. And it's not strength from your mind. That's different. That's will. Courage is the ability to keep your heart open when you think you're going to die, and you just keep breathing. And you keep saying to little Sean or little whoever's inside, I'm right here. I love you even if you're scared. I'm not going anywhere. And if you do that as a practice, and I would love to help people, I'd love to help your listeners with this, because when you can do that, you can do it with your woman. You can do it once you've had a baby and you're married and you're up at 3 a.m. and the kid hasn't stopped crying for 3 hours and you want to kill your wife and kill the kid, but you really don't, but you love them, but you don't know what the fuck to do and you're not in control and this sucks. That's another moment when you're like, who are you going to be about it? So the work I do isn't just get the girl. I know that's like the first thing on your mind. You want to get the girl, but like, I want you to be a king your whole life. I want to be there and have your back when you finally go, she's the one, I'm going to propose. Holy shit, I'm so scared. I want to be the one that's going to help you go through that after the honeymoon's over and all of a sudden you're looking at her, you're like, holy shit, this is who I've married. I want to be there when the kids come. I want to be there when the kids are adolescents and they're driving you bonkers like you've just been driving your parents bonkers. I want to be there when the kids leave and you're like, holy shit, it's empty nest and we really haven't talked much for the last 20 years, have we? It's time to go deeper again. It's time to be more vulnerable again. Like, I want to love you for your whole existence on this planet selfishly, because this planet is better when all of you are kings. That's my selfish reason. And I have a boy and I'm raising him to be a king. And I want to do it because I love you and I don't even know you. And I'm just dorky that way. I have so much love in me that if I don't give it, it's uncomfortable for me. I'm like this Niagara Falls. I just need to keep loving you, seeing you for who you truly are, awakening your badass nobility, giving you all that I can so that you get to enjoy being unstoppable and at peace and free and powerful being you. And you get to enjoy those exquisite relationships that you deserve.
Yeah, well, it's incredible. And yeah, it sounds to me like you're so full from within that you have that overflow to just be able to give unconditionally and just never end. And that comes from all that inner work. And I like how you said that, because yeah, you can listen to this and it's great. And if you forget about it tomorrow, then what? You have to go out there and actually do stuff, which is what it's all about. But this has been awesome so far, and I'm pretty sure we can end it here and it would be one of the best talks most people have ever listened to. I have one more thing that I wanted to talk about that I loved that you talked about with Andy was the 3 methods of penetrating a woman when you're with her and when you're speaking with her. And I really like that concept.
Thank you. Yeah, that's, I have this free report. My website's gethertosayyes.com for guys. And when you go there, you can opt in and you get this free report and a video series. And this is in the report. It's one of the many things in the report. And it's so important because a lot of times guys get really shut down when they see a beautiful woman. They kind of go freak out. And so instead of seeing her body, mind, spirit. I say, see her spirit, mind, body, like switch it around. And so all of a sudden you're like, you can look from that place. So we start with the eyes. We penetrate from 3 places. First, the eyes. See her spirit, mind, body, not the other way around. So you can keep your cool and look for seeing her spirit all the way through to eternity. Like, what is her soul here for? If you start to address a woman when you look at her with your eyes from that place, you don't just look to her. Quite often, guys, if they only see her as a body first, will only look to the boobs and then freak the fuck out, right? That's it. But that doesn't feel good to be looked at that way. It feels like we're a piece of meat, not a work of art. So when you look through her, it's very hard to look through the boobs. So you look through the spirit, mind, body, and you really see the soul of this woman, the essence of this woman. And oh my God, when a man looks at me that way, I'm just like, I just melt. It's amazing. So that's part 1. Penetrate her with your eyes, seeing her as spirit. Number 2, penetrate her with your heart. Now, as we've said before, totally not even possible if your heart is closed, wounded, emasculated. It is a must that you do your work. And I feel completely confident in the work that I do with men healing emasculated hearts. Because when it connects you to your wisdom, your intuition, your instincts, your sense of discernment, but that way women feel you. Otherwise, it's a guy with a dick walking up and that's all we feel. But oh, wait a minute, he's dark with heart. Oh my God, he's not just badass, he's noble badass. Oh my God, okay, I think I'll talk to him. Like, we can literally feel your heart or not. Okay, so absolutely important. Penetrate with the eyes. Penetrate with the heart. And then also penetrate with your cock, your pelvis. I mean, not like literally, but I'm talking energetically here. Because if a guy walks up and he's only in his heart and he only sees our spirit, isn't he a nice guy? Okay, he's a wussy, metaphysical blah, right? We need to feel your sexual energy. We need to feel that you can penetrate the world with your calling. Not just penetrate our vagina. We'd like to know that too. But can you penetrate? Can you fucking show up? So we want to feel that sexual energy. Sexual energy is, yes, kinky, erotic, sexual, yes, but it's also creative. That's your second chakra, right? It's your creative center and your sexual center. So we want to know, are you going to show up and live your purpose? Or are you just going to sit on the couch on the weekends and do nothing and just get a paycheck? Okay, we want to know if you can actually make a difference on this fucking planet. So we want to feel that in your pelvis. 1, it'll make you sexy. Mixed with your heart, it'll make you not a sleazebag, but a noble badass. And mixed with looking at her and not darting your eyes around and being all nervous, but like really being curious about looking for our spirit and our soul. If you can do that, holy fucking shit, you are heads and tails above all the men. Now, it's way easier said than done, but at least awareness is the first step. Your next step is to do the work, sit in the fire, do your healing, and then your next step is to get on the playing field. So I would encourage all of you to go to that website and download that free report and that video series, because it's going to be a really great start for you. And then when we're done this interview, I have a special gift that I'd love to give as well. So for maybe just 3 of you, I'll have time for. But that's a great start to be heads and tails above other men, penetrating women the way we want to be penetrated.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah, and this interview has been incredible. You know, you are an incredible woman in person, and I just want to thank you for giving us all this incredible information, and I want to acknowledge you for everything that you do.
Oh, thank you, Sean. It is my privilege and it is my honor to love men. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just grateful to be able to sit here and share this with people, create something that I know is going to provide so much value in the world. So it's awesome. And yeah, where can people learn more about you, get your free reports? Because I'm definitely going to check out your Get Her to Say Yes free report. If the 3 methods of penetration was only one of the things in it out of many, yeah, I've got to see the rest, you know? Yeah.
Thank you. So definitely go there. There's a little video series as well there. My name is also my website as well, allanapratt.com. That's ALLANAPRATT.com. That's where both women and men go, and you can sign up there for my radio show. I have a weekly podcast, and I have newsletters where guys say, I read yours, I open yours, you're real, you make me feel better. And I have this really sexy way of addressing you that sometimes guys just open the newsletter just to be addressed like that because it just makes them feel amazing. So if you'd like your daily or weekly dose of love from a queen, goddess, sexy, whatever, that's my newsletter, and you can go to my website for that. And yet what I wanted to offer for your listeners is I only have time for 3 because I'm gratefully busy, and it's a strategy session with me. It's a Find Your Perfect Mate strategy session with me. If you go to my website, you can buy one for $597. That's what a strategy session costs with me. And it's completely worth it beyond that, in my opinion. Like, I'm humble in these gifts that I have, and I'm also completely confident in how I change lives. So for the first 3 people that say Sean sent me in the subject line, I want you to email my manager. And her email is manager@allanapratt.com, and that's ALLANAPRATT.com. If you say that Sean sent me, I will gift 3 complimentary, valued at $597, strategy sessions to the first 3 of you who resonate with my message, who are ready to get into the fire and heal something that you haven't been able to heal on your own. You've done these other programs, you're ripe, you're ready, you're at a 9, you're ready to tip to a 10. You could on your own, but you can't, right? You've come as far as you can. This is the time to surrender to a queen, to let me hold space and close that last final gap. This is the part where it's actually letting go, not stepping up, that's going to be required to heal all the way. And I hope from this interview you can sense how much I love you, how safe I am, how much I don't judge, how much I unconditionally love you, men, and what's possible, and how I'm also a potent motherfucker and I can get the work done in a very magical way, in a very lasting way. Because what I want is for you to be, all of you, free, powerful, alive, erotically expressed, so you can enjoy that exquisite relationship that I know in your heart of hearts that you know is possible. So I'd love to be able to help you have that.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. I mean, it sounds incredible. And before we go and say goodbye, my last question for you is, what turns you on most in a man?
It's too bad we don't have another hour. Okay. It's the way he looks at me, like I said before, that penetrating way. And I can feel him at the same time. And there's nowhere to go and nothing to do. And I feel so safe that it's like I become this lotus flower. I just open up into 1,000 petals in his presence. And I want to give all that I am to him because I feel safer and more seen than any other place in the whole wide world. That's what turns me on.
I love it. So thank you guys for listening. And thank you, Allana, for this podcast. It was absolutely incredible. There you have it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this episode with Allana Pratt. It was absolutely incredible. I am so grateful to even have heard this stuff, yet alone be able to create it and give it to guys out in the world for free. And if you want to become this guy, definitely check out Allana's programs, but check out the MenProvement Academy. You have 24 hours from listening to this to get into the MenProvement Academy for only $50 for life and become this guy that can attract any woman and who walks down the street and who women gravitate towards. I hope to see you guys there. I hope to connect with all of you. And if not, that's cool. Leave us a review on iTunes if you thought this was good. And subscribe to the MenProvement Podcast by downloading the podcast app on your phone, searching MenProvement, and hitting subscribe so you don't miss another episode. Because we're going to keep bringing you incredible episodes like the one you just listened to. And I hope to see you guys there. Peace.